Good morning, Mom. Good morning, everyone. I am Jamaica Soria, and I will be presenting the Gestalt principles applied to visual art. So, Chapter 1, Underlying Ideas Behind. So, Gestalt theory, a theory about perception, holds that the whole is more than the sum of its parts. It describes our ability to recognize patterns and make assumptions, group objects that are close together into a larger unit, relate and group objects of similar shape. So, Gestalt theory daw ay emphasizes yung whole of anything is greater than its part. And also, the word Gestalt is used in modern German to mean the way a thing has been placed or put together. In English, no exact equivalent. And this is our objectives. Getting to know what is Gestalt principles, differences between 6 individuals principles commonly associated with Gestalt theory, and getting to know what is Gestalt principles and visual hierarchy. So, Gestalt theory are all important set of ideas for any designer to learn, and their implementation can greatly improve the aesthetic of designs as well as its functionality and user-friendliness. So, sabi nga kanina sa overview, Gestalt theory daw is to put together yung mga images na complicated is pwedeng i-arrange into an organized system that creates a whole or yung to put together. And also, yung Gestalt theory is based on the idea of the human brain. There are 6 individual principles commonly associated with Gestalt theory: the similarity, continuation, closure, proximity, figure ground, and symmetry and order. The first is the similarity. It's the human nature to group like things together. In Gestalt, similar elements are visually grouped regardless of their proximity to each other. In similarity, syempre yung mga pagkakapare-parehas. They can be grouped by color, shape, or size. For example, in color, a group of red apples, group of blue shirts and socks. Basta same yung object and we can say na meron similarity doon. The next is the continuation. If we say continuation, the fact of continuing or a thing that continues or follows from something else. So, sabi nga sa binasa ko or sa nahalagay sa PowerPoint, this continuation can be valuable tool when the goal is to guide a visitor's eyes. Since the eye naturally follows a line, placing items in series in a line will naturally draw the eye from the next to another. So next is the closure and proximity. First is the closure. Closure, in the simplest form of closure naman, we allow our eye to follow something like a dotted line into its ends. Parang meron tayong sinusundang dots to trace a line. Tapos, in a piece naman, yung pinupuna natin yung mga merong missing part, yun yung closure. Next is the figure and ground, and this symmetry and order. First is the figure or ground. This is also similar to closure. Your brain will distinguish between object it's considered to be in the ground of an image. And yung symmetry and order naman is a grouping of law that states that elements that are symmetrical to each other tend to be provided as a unified group. So we have here the chapter 2, which is the Gestalt principles in UX design. So next is yung the interaction design principles, and best practice first is the discoverability. So tama nga naman na kapag hindi mo nahanap or nakita, may possible na wala yung hinahanap mo based on doon sa ating PowerPoint. So, next is the signifier. So, malinaw naman na yung signifiers ay ang kakabit lang ng discoverability. Let's say na yung signifiers is yung way para maka-discover tayo. So, we have here our chapter 4, that is, we have what is a visual hierarchy. So we have here the different types of visual hierarchy. First is the color in visual hierarchy, and next is the size in visual hierarchy. So first, what is color in the visual hierarchy? As you can see in our PowerPoint, you will read that yung color daw yung merong pinaka impactful creative element in visual designs, and also yung color is seeded with meaning and emotions that can transmit accept information to a viewer's subconsciousness. For example, the color green, it's mean peace. Yung red naman is for anger, and white naman is for cleanliness. Every color is a meaning. So next is yung size in visual hierarchy. When we say size in visual hierarchy, size establish a visual hierarchy because it is the largest element. Grab attention first. Di ba kapag malaki, mabilis nating napapansin. Yung size appear to be the most important in visual hierarchy. So yung sinasabi na size daw yung pinaka-importanteng design sa visual hierarchy. So next we have here the alignment and shapes in visual hierarchy. First is the alignment in visual hierarchy. When we say alignment, it is a sense of order. In Filipino, alignment is pagkakahanay-hanay. So kapag hanay-hanay, in order siya. Katulad na lamang kapag we are forming into a straight line rather, dapat hanay-hanay lang. Next is the shapes in visual hierarchy. For example, yung simple heart daw ay ibig sabihin I love or like. And lastly, we have the motion in visual hierarchy. Motion daw ay yung kalimitang ginagamit natin sa UV design bilang clue that can be interacted with. Siya yung element ng visual hierarchy na hindi pwedeng i-print. Siyempre kapag motion, hindi naman napiprint yung motion. Chapter 4, Sound in the Hierarchy of Information. So, ang nakapaloob sa ating chapter 4 ay yung sound ng hierarchy and information. So, mababasa naman natin sa likod yung ng PowerPoint natin. I-explain ko na lang. Sound and visual hierarchy. So, sound themselves can be so complex pero nakakapagpabago siya ng mood at ng ating emotion. So, katulad ng emotion natin sa visual hierarchy, yung sound din ay hindi siya pwedeng i-print. Napiprint ba ang sound? Di ba? Hindi naman. So, kahit yung simpleng background music lang, the sound principle is unique, is basic lang daw. Pero yung creativity which we can be employed is where yung magic that can happen. Nababago yung mood natin, nababago yung emotions natin ng isang kanta lang, ng isang music lang. And lastly, the chapter 5, the concepts of visual hierarchy. After all, we read about what is the concept of visual hierarchy, but knowing the importance of visual hierarchy and knowing how to actually create it are different things. And at dito na po tatapos ang aking report. Maraming salamat po. Sana po ay meron kayong natutunan.